Life is a long highway and I'm just doing the best I can. All right, welcome back to the Straight Line to Success. I'm your host, David Wyatt, and for those of you that saw the last episode, well, you know who my next guest is. It's Darrin Gray, but let me, if I may, for those of you that don't know, this guy, when I think about impact through sports media and mission, I think about Darrin Gray. I mean, he's taught me a lot. Darrin is a speaker. He's an author. He has an agency. He's a strategist for other agencies. He's a philanthropist. You know, he's got 34 years of experience in growing. He works closely with really some pretty epic scaled philanthropic projects. Some of the most well-known NFL leaders in America, including Pro Football Hall of Fame coach Tony Dungy. And Darrin was kind enough to introduce me to Tony back in 2015 in Indianapolis. It was incredible, and he has been a great impact on me and my clients. And really, you know, coming back to talk about specifically this epic project, Baskets of Hope. Welcome back, Darrin Gray. Thank you so much. Tell us about Baskets of Hope. I can't stand it. It's such a great thing that you're doing, you and Coach Dungy and so many people across America, impacting, changing lives, improving people. Man, tell us about it, Darrin. Welcome back.
Thank you, David. I love talking about this philanthropic project. It truly is epic. We're going to deliver super baskets of hope with NFL players, coaches, and alumni in 32 cities across America the week before the Super Bowl and at the Super Bowl in San Francisco at 4 hospitals with the likes of DeMario Davis, Tony Dungy, Kurt Warner. You know, it's really mind-boggling the amount of influence that this project has been able to gather because we are helping the sickest of the sick children inside of America's children's hospitals. It's one of the great honors of my life, and to be a steward of that, bringing my good gifts to bear from sports media and mission to help line up the guys and help to get their philanthropic interests and their schedules aligned with this broader project that folks can learn more about at superbasketsofhope.org. It's incredible.
That's a lot that you broke down. Of course, the Super Bowl's coming up, and this show's coming out. Y'all are going to be doing in hospitals at the Super Bowl. You're in America. You are, and this is not just something that you started this week. It's been going on for years and years and years. So tell us a little bit about what are you doing? Actually, what are you doing? What is the Super Baskets of Hope you want to go into and help people that are struggling at a very critical time in their lives? Tell our audience, what is that?
Yeah, when children are in children's hospitals, not only are they suffering with life-threatening illnesses, diseases, injuries, their parents are suffering, their siblings are suffering, their extended families are suffering. And so our job is to let them know that they're not alone, that they're cared for. And by bringing in NFL players and in many cases their wives, it's Kurt and Brenda Warner, it's Tony and Lauren Dungy, it's DeMario and Tamala Davis. What we do by going in and sharing of their time, these super baskets, and some might go, well, what is a super basket? Well, we recently had 3 giant packing events in St. Louis. That's the home office of Baskets of Hope. Super Baskets of Hope is the annual program that we've been doing since 2012. Baskets of Hope was actually formed 30 years ago. What we did with the help of Tony Dungy in 2012 when the Super Bowl was in Indianapolis, the backstory is we were able to organize a 32 market delivery strategy that impacted every team, you know, every NFLPA chapter, and then all the hospitals that we could deliver to. So this year we packed 8,000 baskets and 8,000 totes. Now, on the surface, that sounds kind of crazy town. That's a lot. But we were able to structure a national partnership with both Build-A-Bear to put a bear in every basket, along with a whole bunch of goodies that include Tony Dungy's Uncommon book, includes Carson Chooses Forgiveness, one of Tony's books, and many other games, puzzles, painting things that kids could do while they're in children's hospitals with lots of time on their hand. And so we packed all those baskets, and now we're in the process of literally delivering them. The delivery will happen soon with DeMario and Tamala in New Orleans because that's their market. Tony Dungy will lead the delivery group coming up here soon in the Tampa market. And then in every other market, including the Super Bowl market, which is San Francisco, we'll be delivering at 4 places there because there are hundreds and hundreds of NFL players, coaches, alumni that come to the Super Bowl. I work every year, David, at the Super Bowl. I have a lot of responsibilities there on Media Row, and I'm well versed in how brands and organizations can work together to make a positive difference in the media and through philanthropy. So we've taken all of these skills that I have and many other people in my ecosystem. We've created the Coalition of the Willing that have come alongside this project called Super Baskets of Hope, and we're in the process of distributing those. But I'll tell your listeners, just in case anybody's inspired by this, we also now have a localized basket packing strategy where literally a market like South Carolina that doesn't have a NFL franchise, you could host a Super Baskets of Hope packing party, follow with NFL players or NFL influencers, guys that maybe played the game, that would come be part of that. And it's a pretty remarkable thing. And then we would get those distributed with the help of those influencers in the local hospital, which I know would be near and dear to you because I understand you had a child that was directly affected by a premature birth that created some challenges. So tell us about that.
Well, Darrin, you being my mentor, I guess you can get away flipping the script onto me. So good work on that. And certainly, I do want to thank the Greenville Hospital System here, the Children's Hospital. My youngest daughter, Ann and I's youngest daughter, Virginia, she was born a month early. And we were in the Children's Hospital there with her. And they were incredible. But I do recall sleeping at the hospital and the worry and the stress that it causes for your kid. You feel so helpless. And so I empathize with all of the families across America that you guys are touching with this Super Baskets of Hope. I'm sure when y'all come in, and I want you to explain it, I know you just did one. What is that like when y'all come in with, super influential people with these big baskets? I mean, people are stressed out like crazy, but then all of a sudden y'all come in. What's that like?
Man, this is the joy because now I'm going to light up. So your listeners may or may not remember a guy named Aeneas Williams. Aeneas he was part of the greatest show on turf with the St. Louis Rams, and then went on to Arizona Cardinals. But he's a Hall of Famer. There's only 400 guys in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, like Sterling Sharp is from South Carolina, who I got to bear witness to at the Pro Football Hall of Fame induction this year. So shout out to South Carolina. But back to this story with Aeneas Williams, who lives in St. Louis. After we packed the 8,000 baskets and the 8,000 totes, we also arranged a couple of children's hospital visits. And so he and I, along with several other NFL players, or NFL alumni, went to the local children's hospitals. And I got to tell you about a young man we met. His name was Leo. Now, Leo hasn't got to have solid food in quite some time. And when we got in the room, he was actually playing with a food game. It was on a screen, but he was interacting with food game. And you know what he was thinking about? His first meal.
Hmm.
And he goes to Aeneas, he goes, I just want some spaghetti. In fact, he goes, I want spaghetti for breakfast. And then he goes, I want spicy spaghetti for breakfast. And then he goes, I want spicy spaghetti with meatballs for breakfast. Aeneas has been chiming in as he's building this vision that he's hungry. He's not had solid food in a long time. I ended up talking to his mom who was there in the room, and this scene is playing out, and we're just encouraging them. We're bringing joy. We're bringing hope. We're trying to be beacons of light in the middle of that. And then we kind of realize that Leo is blessing us as much as we're blessing Leo in the moment. And although my story, I'm not famous, I'm able to be a missionary in that context. And the reason likely that Leo cared about his food, not just because he hasn't eaten in a while, but when you're in a children's hospital, you wake up every morning to a whole new day of struggle. You're going to be awake in that room and you're going to be struggling all day. So when would you want to have the best meal of the day? For breakfast. Because you want to get back to whatever normal looked like for Leo. And it was the most beautiful expression of life and love. And we literally stopped and took some time to pray over that meal that banquet that will one day come. And knowing that if we encouraged him and his mom that they could do it, and the caregivers that were there with us, and yes, we had appropriate permissions, and no, I'm not telling you Leo's last name. We did it all in a way that was all rightly done with cameras and media in just the perfect way, because I have that know-how and we have those legal constructs to do it in a way that aligns with the Children's Hospital's foundation. So I tell you that from a clarity perspective. But really, what was more important that day than Leo telling his story? And you don't think he's going to remember that day that a Pro Football Hall of Famer, 30,000 men have played the game of football, NFL football. 400 or thereabouts are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Tiny fraction. And to be there and bear witness with that, with Derek Frost, a great player for the Washington Redskins, and just to have a small part to bring that faith forward moment in a way that hit them just right and leave there with smiles. And don't you know that we have that going on 2 different floors with 5 different NFL players happening in a sequenced way. We hit hundreds and hundreds of rooms. I could tell a whole bunch more Leo stories and many more that I'll never be able to tell because I wasn't in the upstairs room. We left an awful lot of hope and joy. We're going to repeat that in 32 NFL cities, because that was in St. Louis. That's not even an NFL city. So we've got 32 more cities to go. We're doing it in a systematic way with a team of committed volunteers, the coalition of the willing, that's going to bring more joy than you can really imagine, in a way that is going to touch the hearts of the children, many cases the siblings and the family members. And I'm so honored to do this with the help of Tony Dungy, Kurt Warner, DeMario Davis, and their wives. What an honor for little old Darrin Gray to get a chance to express his good gifts in the middle of this really great program. Superbasketsofhope.org. For only $100, any of your listeners can literally buy one of those baskets full of goodies that will be delivered. We need your help. It's something that's very tactile. And if you want to volunteer or be part of a project, hey, let us know. We'd love to get involved with you and your listeners.
Darrin Gray, what is that, basketsofhope.org?
Yes, superbasketsofhope.org, but you actually can get there. We've been smart about our domain registration. So if you Google around on Basket of Hope or Baskets of Hope, you're going to find yourself to the right place. But the quickest way to right now, to current, to present tense, how can you serve us? How can we serve you? Superbasketsofhope.org.
What an incredible group and experience. I'm definitely going to be getting a basket, at least one of those, and I appreciate the opportunity to do that. It's super exciting. And of course, this is the straight line to success. And a lot of people, when they think about success, they don't necessarily think about going and impacting Leos and folks like that, my family when we were in the Children's Hospital. But, when you guys can come into a room and take their minds off of their worries and the test that's coming at them and all the unknowns, and to be able to be present in a different mindset to bring in that hope and joy, that really is success. And, man, I appreciate you sharing this opportunity. if you're watching the Super Bowl this weekend, please enjoy it. All the men that and the families. It's not just men. It's men playing the game of football, but it's women that are supporting the game of football on so many different levels, even in the coaches' box these days and the owners' boxes these days. So it's just a really great community thing. I mean, we're all about the Bridge Builder Excellence community. It's about the standard being excellence. And of course, my great friend and mentor, Darrin Gray, who has given me the opportunity and to be honored to meet Coach Dungy and to be impacted by Coach Dungy and so many other people, Darrin. I just want to thank you for what you've done. And of course, in South Carolina, you're helping lead some character education programs here. The Football Hall of Fame has really done a great job of taking your advice and using other great leaders, the Football Hall of Famers that are in the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame, like Sterling Sharp that you just mentioned, Sam White, Willie Jeffries, Levon Kirkland, Rick Sanford. I mean, the guys are incredible. If you look at Steve Fuller, I mean, these folks too, they're giving back. I mean, that's the thing about football is so many of these guys are giving back not only during the time they play the game, but they make that transition from football into life after football. I know you've been a part of that. That's kind of what Tony Dungy is doing here. Y'all are all coming together to use the sport of football to make an impact in the lives of Americans. You know, this is about America. It's about South Carolina. It's about the Super Bowl, of course, in San Francisco, but it's about America. It's about people, and it's about making an impact through football. So, give us a little bit of a glimpse into your sort of perception of this Baskets of Hope, Darrin Gray, how you hope to be remembered, when you're no longer around. How about that one?
David, this is going to be big. It's the same belief that I shared with you because it's true, and that was in the prior episode. But I love callbacks, just like on a Seinfeld episode. Give a callback because there's a lot of they're not big things don't have to be mutually exclusive. Just because this event is epic, it doesn't mean that Bridge Builder Excellence can't be epic too, or the enshrinement ceremony. It's my honor to serve in and around the big things that are going on in the state of South Carolina as you move from 43rd in the nation higher and higher, and so many things are going to continue to exemplify that through preparation, excellence, enjoyment, and success. And as I think about ways that you've defined or you continue to define this idea of a straight line to success, it actually really, really resonates with me. It's okay to fail forward. You can make a mistake here and there, but if you seek wise counsel, man, you don't have to make the same mistake over again. That's how you stay elite. That's how you stay playing to a standard. So preparation always favors the prepared mind. How do we play to a standard with excellence? How do we enjoy the process? Because life's a journey. In fact, on my Instagram profile, I literally describe it as such, right? I'm on a journey of a lifetime. Hey, come join me if you want to, or create your own journey. So we've got preparation, we've got success or excellence, enjoyment, but success, as I call back to the prior episode, really that's about the journey from success to significance for me. And that was the essence of your question. As I listened well, as you drop down this word of legacy, I don't know that I'm capable of really defining my own legacy. The headstone, I think in some ways, the epitaph in some ways is written by those people that you influence. Now I can point at what I'd like it to be, hey, he was kind, he was a good father, he was somebody that cared about people. And yet at the end of that day, it's really defined by God, by the people that I've interacted with. And I hope that they say, man, that guy, he had a big heart and he really wanted to make a positive difference. And he touched me in this way and that way. And the way that I know that is manifesting, that as coming true, is that I get a fair number of calls. from fathers of young people that I spoke to, from athletes, from wives or girlfriends that say, you know what, I read this from your book. I saw this from a podcast just like this. No doubt I'll hear a few. You know, that really got me thinking about this, which helped me to adapt in this way, to get better, to get on this same journey of success to significance. You know, I know that we're all role models to somebody. The question is who? Are we going to be good ones or are we going to be bad ones? And I choose to be a good one at the very least. I hope that that good one is on behalf of Jesus Christ. I hope it's done in a way that brings honor and glory to the Lord, to my family, and the Gray name, because I am Scottish through and through, on my mom's side and my dad's side. And even as I sort of define that clan from which I come as a seafaring people, not far from that little golf course in Scotland, as I think about things like legacy, I know that, I was built for more. I was built for a purpose. Thanks for being part of that purpose, David, for bringing me along on your journey. Man, what a joy it is. Let's go.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being with us on the Straight Line to Success. One more time before I let you go, what's that website if someone wants to jump in with it? And how do they contact you?
Yeah, you can find me on all the social places at Darrin Gray 2020. That's DARRINGRAY 2020, as in 2020 vision, like having clarity, because clarity is currency. But as for the project that we were so blessed to talk about today on Straight Line Success, episode 2 with me, it's superbasketsofhope.org. And you'll see a who's who cast of characters. You can get involved in a future basket packing event. You can sponsor a basket, or you can just be praying for us. But do you know that a like, a share, a follow in our social media ecosystem, that creates value for us too. So be sure and do that. Hey, jump on the journey with us. Hope to see some of you at the Super Bowl, and to the balance of you, hope to see you in South Carolina in the not too distant future too.
Awesome. Well, thanks again. Thank you for listening to us, for being a part of our journey on the Straight Line of Success. And please tune in next time, where we're going to have another exciting guest for you. And thanks for all that you do.
Thank you for listening to the Straight Line to Success. Copyright 2026 Wyatt Sports and Entertainment, LLC. All rights reserved. Visit www.tslts.com and join the TSLTS Insider for exclusive content and updates.
We're doing the best we can. Everybody do your best. Come on, come on. Do your best. Do your best. The best you can.